Join me, Bex from the Wide Boot Company, as I take a very unexpected trip to the British Riding Club Intermediate Dressage Championships at Arena UK. Yeah, so it's like a week and a half after IPS, and I had a bit of an emergency phone call WhatsApp from one of the girls in the Quest team that I used to be in my riding club. Unfortunately, somebody that had qualified for nationals with the team, her horse has had a medical issue, and it's not going to be recovered in time for the show, which is a shame. And they needed me to go and fill in the space for the novice test because otherwise they don't have a team. So I was a bit like, I don't really have the money and I don't really have a lot of energy at the moment after just doing IPS, but I kind of felt bad that if I didn't go, then they weren't, they've obviously spent all this time and money trying to qualify and have. So it's 4.5 hours away. It's at Arena UK. I've never been to Arena UK. It's in Lincolnshire. I'm in Dorset, so yeah, it's a long trip. But I was like, you know what, fine, I'll do it, because I felt a bit bad that they weren't going to get to go otherwise. So I'm going to go. So yes, it's going to be 9 hours of driving to do one 4-minute dressage test or 5-minute dressage test, which is ludicrous really, isn't it? But anyway, so I'm just up the field. I'm going to have a sort of little ride in the paddock this morning and see how I get on. I've got all my obstacles out, so there's not enough space to do a full test, but we can practice bits of it. And yeah, the other problem is I'm not allowed a cooler because it's a championship, so that's going to be interesting because my memory is rubbish with learning tests. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting trip, put it that way. So yeah, but I'll take you with me along for the ride as usual, and let's hope it goes to plan. Right, so we've just had as much of a run through in the field as we could. We did manage a couple of little canters, like 15-metre circle canter up here. We did manage, and cantering across the diagonal with a change of rein there. So yes, he's been really good actually. So it's a bit windy today. It was nice and sunny and really hot earlier, and now it's just gone a bit kind of grey and windy. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like I've kind of learnt the test. I did have to stop and refer to my phone diagram things a few times, but not too bad. But obviously it comes up a lot quicker when you're actually cantering the whole lot and trotting where you're meant to be. So we'll just have to have a run through at Amber's on Thursday, and hopefully that will be enough to cement it in my rubbish memory. I don't normally stay away in the lorry until the summer, and I had a bit of a panic because I realised a few things were really not ready. The sleeping bag would not fit into the washing machine because it's a double really thick sleeping bag. So yeah, washing it in the bath. Hopefully it will dry out in time. So I've just had a dream last night that I got to this competition and had forgotten my white saddle pad and my VIP pad for my saddle. So that's obviously a reminder that I need to pack those. And my husband has very kindly flipped this. I'm not joking, this, because it's a double sleeping bag, it absorbed so much water. When I tried to drain it out of the bath, I couldn't even lift it. It was that heavy, and I had to kind of drag it up the side of the bath to let it drain a bit because it had just sucked up so much water where it's so fluffy. It was like lifting a dead body. So anyway, I managed to drag it down the stairs and get it over the railings last night, and it's been out there. And then my husband's put it on here this morning, so I'm going to open it up, and hopefully, it's only Wednesday, so hopefully by Friday it will be dry when I go. But yeah, it's massive. So hopefully it will keep me warm in the 2 degrees it's meant to be going down to. The next panic was finding a replacement handle for the lorry because I realised once I was shut in for the night I wouldn't be able to open it to get out again. This morning this parcel arrived. I was really shocked, and it's very heavy for such a small parcel, and I realised it's the handle for the back of my jockey door because I was very worried I was going to be locked inside my lorry sleeping in it without being able to open it from the inside myself. So this company has been absolutely amazing. Big shout out to South Tay and Liv in their office because she's been so helpful. They managed to track down the part for me, and they sent it to me. Literally, I only spoke to them yesterday and it's already arrived. So I'm so chuffed. I'm going to open it now and make sure it's the right one, but I'm really grateful to them for getting this to me so quickly. I swapped it over and it looks like it's all working. So yeah, it's now, I can now actually pull the lock open, and that seems to be working for the lock section as well. So I'm now going to just try shutting the door and opening it again and making sure it does actually function in the door socket, and then we're good to go. So I was very relieved I wasn't going to have to find somebody to let me out from the outside. Friday's here, off we go. It's the morning. I'm going to Lincolnshire today. I ran through the test twice yesterday with Amber in my lesson and it went okay. So I think I've remembered it, but obviously when you get in the arena, it can be a different story under pressure, but we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, just getting the horses' feed sorted. My husband's looking after the other 3 while I'm away overnight, and just trying to get my last bits and pieces packed and sorted to go in the lorry. And then I'm planning to leave at lunchtime to get up there. So apparently my friend lives up in Lincoln, and I messaged him and he said it's forecast to be 1 degree tonight, so I'm not really looking forward to my sleep, because obviously without hookup it's going to be really cold. Anyway, there we go. It's doing horses on a budget, isn't it? So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I just had a bit of a last minute panic because I went to go and put the chickens back into their safer run that we leave them in when we're out and about, and I couldn't find them anywhere, and I was literally like, oh my god, where have they gone? I think they've escaped to the field behind, or maybe onto the road, and then it turned out I thought I'll just double check the coop, and they were inside because the next door neighbours had a generator running all morning with a jet wash, so they're obviously scared of the noise and they're all huddled up in their nesting box, poor things. So anyway, at least I found them, but it was a bit of a mad panic just as I was trying to leave. I was like, oh my god, the last thing I need is trying to do a chicken hunt through a field. Anyway, all's well that ends well. So I forgot to get sat-nav pics, but basically it took about 4.5 hours to get up there to Lincolnshire from Dorset, so it wasn't too bad, just hit a few patches of traffic, and then we arrived at Arena UK. So because I was only staying for one night, I just took 1 bag of shavings with me. The stables themselves were nice and solid, so that was good, but the entry door was quite narrow and the floor was really awful. It was really rutted, so although it had that rubber mat at the front, it was really pitted and gappy on the floor. Then I was really thankful because Vanessa gave me a lift to the pub where we were going for dinner, and then she dropped me off afterwards, so I didn't have to spend the whole evening by myself in the cold sat in the lorry. So we went out for a meal together this evening, which was very nice, and I am now back in the horse box by myself. So this is my bed, and underneath here is a load of random horsey stuff, my clothes and my socks I'm about to put on, and through there is my toilet in the middle of the night. So yes, fully set up for a cold night. I think it's about 1 degree well, it's meant to be going down to 1 degree. I don't feel that cold yet, but maybe I will be not saying that in an hour or two once I've actually got in and laid still, but I'm very togged up for it. I've got a woolly hat, this, I don't know what you call that, some sort of neck muffler thing, gloves and some really good socks, and I've got my Udi on and some tracky bums, so hopefully that'll be enough to keep me warm overnight. So although I felt quite warm after doing water bucket top-ups and stuff, it was very cold, and once I actually got in the sleeping bag and lay down, I was like, oh, it is freezing, so it took me quite a while to actually get to sleep, but yeah. Well, I did actually manage to get to sleep, and it wasn't too horrendous, but I was cold at first, but once I got to sleep, that was fine, and I actually seemed to have slept quite well, so that's good. So I'm trying to get dressed now. Everything is freezing in here because it's 2 degrees. So I'm hoping to get dressed and then head down to feed Elf and then get him ready for the arena walk. I didn't get any vids of the arena walk, but basically it was just a chance to walk around and show him all the flowers and the judges' box and stuff, which was really helpful. So this is the large warm-up which we started in, and then the walkway across from that. You can just see him there coming into the junction here. They send you from the larger warm-up through this bit to the smaller warm-up, which is just outside the arenas you're going into. So it's kind of like a smaller holding area. I hadn't done too much cantering in the big warm-up because I was a little bit concerned he was quite buzzy. So I thought, I'll do more cantering in the small arena before we go in. But he found this arena much more spooky because of all the marquees. So I'm just checking in with the steward here.
What did they say? 10 minutes?
Yeah. So I was really thankful as my teammate Zoe's husband Doug came along to just film for me and just give me some moral support, because it's quite intimidating doing this by yourself. He did feel quite tense in the warm-up. I struggled to get as much canter practice in as I wanted to because he was being quite strong and he didn't like the table area to the side there. Anyway, we went in, and once we got into the main arena, as I expected, he did settle more because of less horses being around him, and I got a bit more concentration out of him. He wasn't bothered at all by any of the plant pots or anything like that. So, off we go. So, down the centre line, no halt this time because with the novice I don't think you tend to halt. So we got a 7 for this with the comment fairly straight. And then going up this way, you're getting ready for the half circle left, 10 metres diameter, and then the other half circle right, 10 metres diameter, which is like a sort of serpentine across the middle. So we got the mark 6 for this with the comment more suppleness. Then it's the 20 metre circle at the end of the arena, and over X it's a give and retake of the reins. We got a 6 for this with the comment some loss of balance on the give and retake, which is fair enough because he kind of stuck his head up as he was looking at the other arena. Then it's the working trot between A and K, and then KXM change rein and show some medium trot strides. We got a 6.5 for that with the comment loss of balance. Then it's the next 20 metre circle at the end of the arena by the judges box with the give and retake of the reins over X again. So he got a 6 for that, again with the comment balance and contact give and retake. Then we're prepping for the next medium trot across the diagonal. And he got a 6.5 for that with the comment balance. Then we're prepping for the halt at A. So I was a little bit short of A there. So we got a 6 for that with the comment square, but not quite at A. Tense in the walk. I think he thought we were probably going to canter at that point, which was why he was bunching up a little bit. Anyway, then we have the change the rein and a free walk on a long rein. So this is a double scoring mark. We got a 6 for this with the comment needs more ground cover and stretch down. We can't get much more stretch or ground cover than that. It's just, he really struggles with that. You know, Iberians don't tend to have such a long stride as the warm bloods do. So we got a 6 for the medium walk with the comment suppleness, and then this is where he got very bunched up and excited about going into the walk to canter and anticipated. So we got a 5 for that with the comment very tense, which was fair enough. Then we're going into the 15 metre canter circle up this end. This is where he gets a little bit excited and tries to do a little mini buck, and I was like, don't you dare. So we got the comment circle large with varying rhythm, and a 5.5 for that, which was completely fair enough. Then we got working canter, change the rein over X, change the leg through trot. We got a 6 for that with the comment balance through trot. And then we're back into another circle right 15 meters in front of the judges box, and we got a 6 for that with the comment circle large. I think it was just slightly egg shaped, possibly. Then we got the medium canter strides over B here coming up. I was worried about letting him go too much because with a short arena you've got so little time to get back under control. So we got a 6 for that with needs to show clearer difference. Then change the rein and over X, change the leg 3 trot back into working canter. We got a 6.5 for that with the comment suppleness. Then prepping for the next medium canter strides over E. Again, it's just so little time to get the medium canter, get back to working canter and back to trot by this marker here. So we got a 6 for that with the same comment as the last one, saying clearer difference needed and balance. And then turn down the centre line and halt salute. We got a 6.5 with balance on C line. Comment from the judge was lovely horse with correct basic paces, but now needs to develop the balance and suppleness, and then more marks to come. We got a 6.5 for paces, 6 for impulsion, 6 for submission, and 6 for rider's position and seat. Final score was 60.96, so basically 61%. So we just got back from our test. He doesn't really like this stable. The nice lady next door just helped me get him in because he just was refusing to come through the doorway, but they are quite narrow and dark as well. So anyway, I haven't bothered mucking out because there's no point, because I've got to take this whole bed out in a minute before I go home. But I'm pretty pleased with him. He was tense in places, but you know, considering it's quite buzzy with all the announcements and horses jumping and other stuff going on, there's a lot to take in, and he was pretty good. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So it'd be interesting to see what the scores are. I think there's going to be lots of marking down to tension and things like quarters in when he was anticipating the canter in the corner and got a bit bouncy. But yeah, it was okay. Elfie, were you a good boy? Elfie? Doing? I'm gonna go home to your girls in a minute. Yeah? You're handsome, aren't you? Yes. This is lovely Glamour, who's stabled next door to Elfie, and you also had a little stud muffin, didn't you, with your mummy's permission? But he's only got one eye because he had a glaucoma and had to have his eye removed. But yeah, obviously doesn't affect him. He's absolutely beautiful. You're so handsome, aren't you? So yeah. Nice to meet all the other horses. Hello. So I started the laborious process of getting everything back to the lorry. Right, I've loaded everything into Zoe's barrow, which she's kindly lent me. So I'm going to go and take it up to the lorry and put it all away. Elfie, don't do that, please, darling. And then, no, that's not helpful. And then, yes, watch Zoe's test, who's one of my team members, and then yeah, I'll have a little walk around and show you what the whole place looks like. But this is the stabling. So some really lovely horses. And then right down at the end you've got the tap and the muck heap, so it's not too bad to get to. Everyone's got an emergency number thing on their door. And yeah, I'll show you the warm-up arenas and everything in a second. So just putting some stuff back in the horse box. So this is the warm-up for the jumping. So these are all the people that are much braver than me. But yeah, some quite feisty ones. But yeah, it's fun to kind of stand and watch actually, because obviously I don't really do much jumping. I haven't jumped elf for absolutely ages because of the weather. But yeah, so these are quite a decent size. So I sorted out the lorry and just been and checked elf. So this is where the toilet blocks are, and there's some showers further back. Chemical toilet dispersal, very handy if you've got a big lorry that you need to do a proper loo changeover. And then this is where all the dressage arenas are. So let's have a little wander. Haven't really looked around yet because it was quite late by the time I got here yesterday. So this looks like some kind of function room. It's got loads of chairs and tables stuck up in there. And then, yeah, more dressage. And then if you walk down this way, there's like a really nice viewing gallery. Sorry if it's a bit shaky, but I am just holding my phone in my hand. So I've just seen Zoe. I think Zoe is on her little spotted chap down in the warm up at the bottom. I think that's her just going past there. So we're going to go and watch her test. And I'm on the hunt for some food, but I have no idea where anything is. I'm assuming it might be up this way. I could really do with a cup of tea and a bacon sarnie now, because it's about 11 o'clock and all I've had is a sip of water to take my tablets this morning. So quite hungry and quite thirsty now. So yeah, this is the warm-up that we were in. I wasn't quite sure about all these decking bits. And this looks like food and some sort of tack shop up there. We'll have to go and investigate that in a minute. So yes, let's go find a bacon sarnie. Oh, tea, yes. So I managed to get a bacon roll and a tea from this cafe here. I'm going to go back to there before I leave and see if they'll fill up my mug with a nice mocha or something for the journey home. Keep me going for the 4 hours. So now I'm going to go and try and find Zoe and see if Vanessa, who's our other team member, is around somewhere. Because I want to watch her test. So Zoe hasn't had Marley terribly long, I think just over a year, and he's quite young, I think he's 5, so novice level's quite a big step up for him, but they did a really nice test and he was very relaxed, he's very chilled considering the atmosphere, but he seems just a very laid back chap, which is nice. So yeah, they did really well. If I'm remembering what she told me correctly, he was born on the forest, so the New Forest, where some people have grazing rights, but he isn't by a forest stallion, so he is out of a coloured mare and by a spotted stallion. But yeah, I think he was given birth to on the forest, so he's lived out for his first bit of life. Yeah, he's a very smart chap. He moves really nicely as well. He's only 13.2, I think, so not very big. So I went to buy Elf some treats, and then they were offering free trials of the Equilibrium massage pad, so I decided to book Elf in. So Elf is just trying out an Equilibrium. Sorry, what's the name of the pad?
It's the Equilibrium Massage Pad Standard.
Massage pad standard. So it's got vibrating motors in it. Oh yes. So I was a bit worried he might not like it because he can be a bit weird about things, but he does actually seem quite happy. So is that on like a pulse setting then?
Yeah, so it goes through 3 cycles.
Yeah. And is that as intense as it gets, or does it go?
It's just on the low at the moment, just to get him used to it.
Right.
And then it can go up to medium and it can go up to high. For just a general massage, I tend to recommend the medium setting.
Okay.
If you've got a horse that particularly likes a deeper massage, then you can put it up to high. Or if you've got one that might be carrying a bit more weight, that might need a bit more penetration, then you can put it up to high as well.
Right. Okay.
So if you think he's happy with that, then
Yeah,
soften the
he
straps
seems.
up.
You happy?
Pretty chilled.
You look happy. Yeah. Yeah, so because he's been a bit tricky to get on a few times at shows, it's always at shows, he gets a bit tense. I just wonder if this would help with trying to relax his back a bit before we actually go and warm up or whatever. So yeah, it might be something to invest in the future. Oh, can you get back, Elf? Good boy. So yeah, and then you also do the heat version, which has got.
So we've got the heat sense, which has the heating element towards the back,
Yeah.
Which it's in the back because the lumbar region is proven to be more beneficial when it's there.
Yeah.
It's got a sensor in it, so it heats up to optimum and then it turns itself off.
Right.
So you can't overheat the horse with it.
Okay, and how long would you keep that on for?
So it stays on for 30 minutes. It's got a 30-minute cycle.
Okay. So could you put this on in the lorry on the way to somewhere, or is it more?
Probably not recommended while the horse is travelling.
Yeah.
Once you get to the show, obviously if the horse is used to having the pad on, then you can put it on in the lorry.
Right. Okay. Is that nice?
He's not really that at all, is he?
That is nice. Okay. I don't want to bother recording anymore because you've done that. You good boy, is that nice? Yeah. So he's kind of, he's relaxed again now, but a moment ago he was kind of looking a bit weird, like he wasn't quite sure what was going on. So I'm just going to keep an eye on him. Might take it off if he looks like he's not comfortable with it. So they left the equilibrium pad with me for half an hour for him to do a full cycle with it. So while that's happening, I'm just starting to muck out. It's really difficult. The floor is really horrendous in here. I don't know if you can see that lump. That is like some lump of old carpet or something. So it's not very easy to like muck out because your fork keeps getting stuck on all these ridges. But anyway, so yeah, I can tidy it out, probably take some of the fresher stuff and dump it in the lorry, so it will give him a bit more of a bed in the lorry. There we go. I took the massage pad back to equilibrium after it had run its cycle and then decided to do a little walk around the venue. So I think this is the main entrance, and then in here is an absolutely huge arena. Someone's just gone out, so I'll come back in a second when someone else comes in. I know very little about show jumping, but this seemed to be the jump off for the people in the final. So it was a short course, obviously run quickly. Definitely a few tight turns going in here to try and beat the clock. It was quite fun to watch actually. I didn't stay too long because obviously I needed to get on the road, but it was nice to watch a couple of rounds. Well, this is the shower block, and right next door to that is a door that goes in here to another indoor arena. So I'm assuming that must have been used as a warm-up. But yeah, it's certainly plenty of arenas here. And then this is back down to the stables here. And there's another indoor arena on the left. There's been some show jumping people. So yeah, busy. So one thing I wasn't expecting about coming here was that there are a lot of very, very nice quality horses here. So yeah, it's quite stiff competition. I kind of expected it as riding club to be more people on natives and, you know, your average riding club horse, but there are some very flashy warm bloods and nice horses here, so yeah, I think it's quite a stiff competition. Right, well that's it. Alfie's loading in, or loaded in should I say. All the hay and leftovers are in, and still people wildly jumping around in the arena. But anyway, we're going home. We are going home to Dorset, aren't we, Alfie? We had a very clear run home with no issues, just had to stop for a quick fuel top up. Right, so we know we're home because it's just been absolutely peeing with rain. But anyway, Elfie's just having a little bit of grass because he's obviously been stuck in a stable for nearly 24 hours. So yes, he's having a very nice munch on all the lovely lush grass, just because I want to get some water in his system as well, because he has obviously eaten some hay and he has drunk some water in the stable, but I think he could do with a bit more. So yeah, hopefully a bit of wetter grass will help move his system through a bit rather than just dry hay. So yeah, so I won't leave him on it for too long, just for like half an hour while I do all my tasks. But yeah, he's travelled like an absolute angel. I cannot fault him. You wouldn't even know he's in the back most of the time, so yeah. And here are a couple of the pro pictures that I bought from Action Replay, who covered the event. So yeah, they're very nice to have as a keepsake. One thing I did buy while I was away was this massive bag of crunchets from the Equilibrium stand, because it was $9.99 for this huge bag. And Elf loves these, and they are like hardly any sugar in them, which is perfect for him because I don't like him to have a lot of sugar. So yeah, that was his little treat for being such a good boy going away. It's Monday, so I've been back since Saturday evening. So just to reflect on the weekend away, I thought it went very well generally. I know we didn't place very well. I mean, it was warm blood central there. There were a lot of quite smart warm blood horses in the dressage section, just from watching people in the warm-up and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, the level was high, so I'm not surprised we didn't do amazingly well, but it was good considering we had zero prep really, like 2 run-throughs of the test on the Thursday before we went on the Friday, and that was it. Everyone else has been probably practicing that test for months, because apparently they all did it in the qualifier. So, you know, it was a big ask to go there having ridden it so little and not being able to fine-tune it, but he did everything that I asked him to in the right places. Just had that one little humpy buck moment in the canter, but we'll forgive him for that. I think he was quite excited by the general atmosphere. It's very buzzy with 4 arenas and horses going up and down the horse walk, and the tannoy with the show jumping. It's a lot. So yeah, he did really well, bless him. I do want to invest in a decent mounting block that I can keep in the lorry, because that does seem to have become a little bit of an issue, that he doesn't like to stand when we're at shows next to new mounting blocks, and it can be quite difficult to get on him, which yeah, he was a bit tricky both times I went to get on him. So I really need to suss that. It's not a back problem or anything. He doesn't do it at home or any places that he's familiar with, so I think it's just like a tension and nervousness thing with new mounting blocks and new places. So we need to sort that out somehow so that I can safely get on without him skittering around. But other than that, he was perfect. He travelled so well. The lorry went like a dream. I think we got through about 85-90 quid worth of fuel in total, which isn't too bad considering the length of the journey. It was about 9 hours of driving in all, and we had a really good journey back, so I was really happy with that. And yeah, one thing I would say is I would not advise sleeping in your lorry in 1 degree. The actual sleeping part, not too bad. Getting dressed in the morning, not fun. I had to get dressed in the sleeping bag because it was just horrible. Any limb that you put outside the sleeping bag, it was like, too cold, get back inside. So yeah, I would not advise doing that if you can avoid it. But anyway, we survived, so all good, and very happy with him. He's a good boy. So yeah, onwards and upwards, and yeah, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you would like to be notified of future vlogs if you enjoyed a look around Arena UK with us. Right, catch you soon, bye. A big well done and thanks to Vanessa and Zoe in my team, and also to Kate, who was the one that actually qualified to go there. So well done to her.